The humid air hung heavy, thick with the scent of decay and unknown blossoms. A symphony of chirps, croaks, and rustling leaves surrounded Anya, each sound amplified in the oppressive silence of the forbidden temple vines, like emerald pythons, clung to the weathered stone, obscuring carvings that hinted at a civilization swallowed by time. Anya, codename Nightingale, adjusted the weight of the backpack on her shoulders, the contents pressing against her spine, a constant reminder of the mission's perilous importance. Nightingale wasn't just a spy. She was a shadow, a whisper in the wind. Trained from childhood by the clandestine organization known as the Obsidian Order, she was a master of infiltration, assassination, and espionage. Her loyalty was a carefully constructed facade, her true allegiance known only to herself. The Obsidian Order claimed to serve the greater good, but Anya had witnessed their methods, their ruthlessness, and the collateral damage they left in their wake. She was beginning to question everything. Local tribes spoke of the, quote, whisperers of the jungle, spirits bound to the temple who guarded the sunstone with unwavering devotion. The Order had dismissed these stories as superstitious folklore, but Anya, with her years of experience, knew that superstition often masked a deeper truth. Her mission was simple: retrieve the sunstone and deliver it to the Order's research facility in Switzerland. But simple missions were never truly simple, especially when the stakes were this high. The sunstone wasn't just an artifact. It was a potential weapon, a source of energy that could be harnessed for unimaginable purposes. As Anya moved deeper into the temple, she activated her augmented reality interface. A holographic map flickered into existence, outlining the temple's labyrinthine corridors. The Order had obtained the schematics from a disgraced archaeologist, a man who had disappeared mysteriously shortly after sharing his findings. Anya trusted no one, especially not those connected to the Order. Suddenly, a pressure plate beneath her boot clicked. A section of the wall slid open, revealing a narrow passage. Anya froze, her senses on high alert. But something felt off. The air in the passage was colder, heavier, charged with an unnatural energy. She stepped into the passage, her hand resting on the silenced pistol strapped to her thigh. The walls were lined with intricate carvings, depicting scenes of rituals and sacrifices. Anya recognized the symbols. They belonged to a forgotten civilization, a people who had mastered the manipulation of energy, a people who had vanished without a trace. Bifocobal. The passage opened into a large chamber. In the center stood a massive altar, bathed in an ethereal glow. As Anya approached, she noticed something peculiar. The skeleton's hands were clutching a small, intricately carved box. Intriguing, Anya murmured to herself. The box wasn't mentioned in the Order's schematics. Could it be another artifact? Or perhaps a key to unlocking the sunstone's power? As she reached for the box, a voice echoed through the chamber. A voice that seemed to resonate from the very stones themselves. "You have trespassed on sacred ground, intruder." Anya whirled around, her pistol raised. The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Show yourself," Anya demanded, her voice calm and steady despite the surge of adrenaline coursing through her veins. The voice chuckled, a chilling sound that sent shivers down her spine. "I am everywhere, and nowhere. I am the guardian of this temple, the protector of the sunstone." Suddenly, the torches lining the chamber flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. Anya activated her night vision goggles, but the darkness was absolute, impenetrable. "You cannot defeat me, intruder," the voice hissed. "This temple is my domain. I know every corner, every shadow." Anya knew she was outmatched. She couldn't fight an enemy she couldn't see. She needed to use her wits, her training, to survive. "I am not your enemy," Anya said, her voice carefully controlled. "I seek only knowledge, understanding, lies," the voice spat. "You are here for the sunstone. You seek to exploit its power, to desecrate its sanctity." "I am not like them," Anya said, referring to the Obsidian Order. "I want to protect the sunstone, to keep it out of their hands." The voice was silent for a moment, as if considering her words. Then, it spoke again, its tone slightly less hostile. "Prove it." Anya knew this was her chance. She had to convince the Guardian that she was on their side, that she was not a threat. She took a deep breath and began to speak, recounting her experiences with the Order, the horrors she had witnessed, the doubts that gnawed at her soul. She spoke of her growing disillusionment, her desire to find a different path, a path of peace and understanding. She poured her heart out, laying bare her deepest fears and hopes. When she was finished, the chamber remained silent for a long moment. Then, the torches flickered back to life, illuminating the room with a warm, golden glow. Standing before her was a figure shrouded in shadows, its form indistinct but undeniably powerful. "I have heard your words, intruder," the Guardian said. "I see the darkness in your heart, but I also see the light. You are not like the others." "Thank you," Anya said, her voice filled with relief. "The Sunstone is not a weapon," the Guardian said. "It is a source of balance, a key to unlocking the potential within ourselves. But it is also dangerous. It can amplify both good and evil." "I understand," Anya said. "I will protect it. I will use it wisely." "You will face many challenges," the Guardian said. "The Obsidian Order will not give up easily. They will stop at nothing to obtain the Sunstone." "I am ready," Anya said. "I will not back down." The Guardian nodded. "Then go protect the Sunstone." With that, the Guardian vanished, leaving Anya alone in the chamber. She took the box from the skeleton's grasp, carefully placing it in her backpack. Then, she turned and left the temple, determined to fulfill her promise. Leaving the temple was not the end, it was the beginning. Anya had betrayed the Obsidian Order, making them her sworn enemies. She knew they would hunt her down, relentlessly. But she was prepared. She had spent her life honing her skills, mastering the art of survival. She would not be caught easily. She needed to sever all ties with the Order, to erase her digital footprint. She traveled through the Amazon, relying on her instincts and her knowledge of the terrain. She found refuge with a local tribe, the very people who whispered of the temple's guardian. They welcomed her, sharing their knowledge of the jungle, their ancient traditions, their deep connection to the earth. Anya learned from them, gaining a new understanding of the Sunstone's power. She realized that it wasn't just a source of energy, it was a conduit to the Earth's life force, a link to the spiritual realm. Meanwhile, the Obsidian Order was closing in. They had dispatched their most ruthless agents, men and women trained to kill without remorse. They followed Anya's trail, leaving a path of destruction in their wake. The tribe that had sheltered her was brutally attacked, their village burned to the ground. Anya was devastated, filled with guilt and rage. She knew she couldn't run anymore. She had to stand and fight. She had to protect the Sunstone, not just from the Order, but from anyone who would seek to exploit its power. She set traps, ambushes, using the environment to her advantage. She became a ghost, a shadow, striking from the darkness and disappearing without a trace. The Order's agents were baffled, frustrated, their ranks thinning with each encounter. Anya finally cornered their leader, a cold-blooded killer known as Viper. They faced each other in a clearing, the air thick with tension. Viper was Anya's equal, a master of combat, a formidable opponent. The battle was fierce. Brutal Anya and Viper exchanged blows, each strike carrying the weight of their past, their beliefs, their destinies. She fought with a ferocity she didn't know she possessed, fueled by her anger, her guilt, her determination to protect the Sunstone. In the end, Anya prevailed. She disarmed Viper, holding her pistol to her head. "It's over," Anya said, her voice trembling with exhaustion. "The Order ends here," Viper smirked. "You can't stop them," she said. "They are too powerful, too entrenched. They will come for you, for the Sunstone. You will never be safe." Anya hesitated. She knew Viper was right. The Obsidian Order was a hydra, cutting off one head only to have two more grow in its place. She had to believe that she could make a difference, that she could change the world, even if it was just a little. She lowered her pistol. "I'm not going to kill you," she said, "but I'm going to expose you. I'm going to reveal the Order's secrets to the world. And I'm going to make sure they never hurt anyone again." Anya released Viper, leaving her to face the consequences of her actions. She then disappeared back into the jungle, determined to fulfill her mission. Anya surfaced weeks later, a digital ghost revealing the Obsidian Order's darkest secrets to the world through encrypted channels, whistleblowers, and anonymous leaks. Anya had struck a crippling blow, but she knew the Order would never truly be defeated. They were too deeply entrenched, too powerful, but Anya had given the world a chance. She had exposed the truth, allowing people to make their own choices, to fight for their own freedom. She knew the fight was far from over, but she was ready to continue, to protect the Sunstone, to defend the innocent. She decided to hide the Sunstone, not in a temple, not in a vault, but within herself. She learned to harness its power, to use it for good, to heal and protect. The ending was not a full end, rather the beginning of a new chapter in her life. A new responsibility to be the guardian of the Sunstone. Years later, Anya, now an elderly woman, lived a simple life nestled in the mountains of Nepal. One evening, a young girl sought her out, her eyes shining with a familiar spark. The girl spoke of injustice, of power misused, of a world in need of a savior. Anya smiled, knowing her time had come to pass on the legacy. The Sunstone's power, she explained, wasn't just about energy, it was about hope.